De Suriname Agriculture Market Exit Project, beter bekend als het Samap project, die heeft vandaag hun tweede platformbijeenkomst en werksessie gehouden op het terrein van het ministerie van LVV en wel in het SAIS-gebouw. Wij spraken over deze tweede platformbijeenkomst en werksessie met de grote man bij FAO Samap, en dat is dan de heer Erik Ceballos, die aangeeft wat het belang is van de werksessie en de bijeenkomst.
This second workshop is now trying to bring together all the ideas that the stakeholders had in the first workshop towards building a strategic plan. In the first workshop, they identify what are the big problems, the issues, the constraints, and what might be the solutions to solve them in order to improve the production, the quality of production, and the market access of fruits and vegetables in Suriname. Now they are reviewing what they have discussed in the previous workshop and validating. They are saying, oh yes, this is something that we need to do. We forgot about something. They are including what they forgot. They are discussing whether the leadership in the implementation of the plan that they identify is the correct one or not the correct one. So they are reviewing, they are fine-tuning, and they are polishing their plan in order to have a version that everybody will be happy with, everybody agrees with, and therefore there is ownership for the implementation.
Can you give an example, Mr. Ceballos?
Yes, they were discussing, for example, whether the export, the vision of the plan should meet standards for accessing markets. And they were discussing, should this be international standards or should this be local standards? There were different positions. There were some that were advocating for the national standards because they are more easy to meet than the international standards. Suriname may not be ready. Others argue and said, if this is about exports, we should meet the international standards. If we meet international standards, we are already meeting the national standards. So in those discussions, they came to some consensus of how they should go about it. They ended up agreeing that indeed they have to meet the standards to begin with, and if they are international and it helps already the country, then they are already addressing the two concerns. So the quality of the discussions, the seriousness of the discussions had been very, very important in order to have a very realistic plan.
And how many meetings will there be?
This is a very long journey, and these first two meetings are to first help the sector to have a plan, second to organize today, as you will see in the workshop today. In addition to validate their action plan, they are discussing who will do what, who will participate in these platforms, who will drive, who will be the chairperson, or is there going to be a board, how many participants. So they are also looking at the organization. With those two elements, they will need to move into implementation. And the implementation of the plan is from here to the next 5 years. So like this, there will be more meetings, workshops of the platform members, but those will be already to implement the actions that they will define in their plan. So it's going to be a long journey, very, very dynamic, and it will have different subjects, different topics every time they will meet.
And the participants are from which sector?
The participants are all across the different segments of what we call the value chain. We have farmers, those that are really producing the fruits and vegetables. We also have processors, because not everything is sold in fresh. There's some value added. They also play a role. We also have the exporters. They are in connection with the markets. They know what the market demands, what type of product, if it is big, if it's small, if it is, more quality or whatever. So they have that knowledge. They are also participating. But in addition to them, we have the institutions that support the development of the country. The Ministries of Agriculture, Ministry of Regional Development, Ministry of Economic Development, Ministry of Finance. all of those are also represented because there are many things that the sector needs from the public sector to thrive. You need roads, you need electricity, you need water, you need communications. All of those things cannot be done only by the farmers. So that's where you need to bring the public sector to support research and development, meeting the standards to not have pest and too much fertilizer or pesticides in your production. Those are regulations. The Ministry of Agriculture, together with the National Plant Protection Office, work in those areas and therefore support the efforts of the farmers. So it's a combination of the public and the private sector working together to achieve one goal.
And with the people Samap started the journey, you have the same amount, or people just stopped?
It's growing and growing. That's the important signal that I think the stakeholders at the beginning come with some questions. Say, this is one workshop, we were in too many workshops from other projects, other institutions. What is going to be different this time? And we explained that the difference is that this is a process where they are the owners of the process. This is not a project of FAO and then the project overs and then everything is done. It's their process. They are finding their own ways to work together. They are identifying what they want to do, and now they will start to commit also the resources to give sustainability. The Ministry of Agriculture will put some, Ministry of Economic Development will support as well, but the private sector, farmers themselves, they have a lot to do just by producing with good agricultural practices, reducing the consumption of too many pesticides, meeting the standards and the rules. That's the way to contribute, and it's a lot of money there also, that you don't need a project for that. You just need your own commitment. So this platform is growing every time we meet. We have more participants. Not everybody is here, but as we move ahead, we believe that it will create the credibility in the sector and will bring more participants. At the end, we hope that no one is left behind and that everyone in Suriname that belongs to this sector contributes and benefits at the same time.
And the participants doesn't have to pay a fee?
No. This is voluntary. Participants come by their own decision to contribute to the development of the country by their own way. And then, of course, every time they will implement an activity, there will be resources that they will put by their own on making that happen. That is the good thing of this platform, because it really is an organization built up from the people, for the people, by the people, and it's in partnership, a strategic partnership with the public sector.
So, Mr. Ceballos, you said there's a long road ahead for the participants. At the end, what will be the benefits?
At the end, what our participants, stakeholders stated in the mission of their plan, in the vision of their plan. They want to see in 5 years Suriname agriculture, fruits and vegetable products actively accessing markets abroad with quality, with good quantity, and sustainably. That's what they want to see in 5 years. So that's what we will see in 5 years, that Suriname is effectively exporting, it's meeting the standards of quality, and it's doing it in a sustainable way. If that will happen, will be the result of this partnership, public-private, in the value chain platform.
And at the end of today, what will be the homework for FAO Samap and for the participants?
For us, it will be to collect all the ideas, all the discussions that they had, and we facilitate this process by organizing the information in their plan. Then we will provide a report, so the participants will be able to see what they discussed, and it's organized properly for the next meeting to continue the discussions and to validate what they have agreed on. So we facilitate the process through FAO Samap. For the participants, very important is to read what they discuss and to read what they wrote, to make sure that what they are committing to is what they want to do, and that is not something that somebody is going to say after, no, I didn't commit to this, I don't want to do it, I am not part of this. This is the part where everyone will say, yes, I can do it. Realistically, I can do it. and I will commit to participate. That's the homework, and in the next session, they will come again together, form their organization, the leadership, who will play what role, and then we will move into implementation.
And when is the next session?
I think in 2 weeks, 3 weeks from now. So it's very, very active, one after another. We don't want them to forget what they decided in the last meeting. So after 2-3 weeks, they will come again together.